Okay, we're live now.
I can see that. Cool.
Okay. I'll mute myself so my son doesn't pop up.
Yep. So, hi everyone. I'd just like to introduce myself. My name's Hayley and I'm a star consultant from the Gold Coast on the hinterland. And I'm going to share a little bit of my journey and my story with you tonight. So, this is really new to me. So, if I make mistakes, that's all right. Just bear with me. I joined Scentsy at the end of November 2014. So I think it was like about the last day of the month or maybe the 1st of December. So how I joined was that a few weeks before, I was invited to a Scentsy party. And I'd actually never heard of Scentsy before, so it was all like really new to me. So I went to this party and there was just one warmer. It was basically just a starter kit. I think it was actually Jodie's first party that she'd ever done. And she had a warmer and a few smellies laid out. And I was like, oh my God, I fell in love with the product. So I booked a party from that. And interestingly enough, that first party that I went to at Lisa's house, and I hope you're watching, Lisa, Lisa actually just joined as a new consultant under me a couple of weeks ago and got shooting star. So, so I went to Lisa's house. I went to the party, and it was just, yeah, I liked the products. So I said to Jodie, okay, I'm going to book a party at my house. So I did. I booked a party and had about a dozen people turned up. No one had ever heard of Scentsy before, just like me. I couldn't even say the word. I remember reading the catalogue and just saying, how do you say that? Just sounds really funny. But anyway, so I had the party and it was a real success. And a few days later, when my order was due to arrive, I asked Jodie if I could join. And she was like, oh, okay. And it was like, I think my party was her second party, so she actually wasn't even sure on how I could join that. And I was like, oh, I really want to join. But my intention when I joined was basically to be a kidnapper. So I wanted the kit. I wanted to buy it and just get it really cheap and get all the goodies, and then just order a few bits and pieces for myself. So I ended up joining. I had no idea how to use the workstation or anything like that. And my sponsor and I kind of fumbled through it. And then I went away for a few weeks over Christmas and didn't get back to the new year. So I didn't really do a great deal with it. I did manage to get Shooting Star and Sensational Star level 1, but to be honest, I didn't really work it. All my friends just wanted it. So Shooting Star and Sensational Star just kind of happened for me. So that was pretty cool. When I did get back from my holidays, I still had no intention of like really working the business, but I met a few of the girls, and Fast and Fabulous February was coming up, and we could like buy our tickets for that. So I thought, oh, why not? I'll go and have a look. I only met like 1 or 2 of the girls from Scentsy, so I put up on the team page, oh, is anyone carpooling? Because I just didn't want to be that dork that just turned up on my own and didn't know anyone. So one of the girls, Tisha, said, sure, come along with us. And So I went to her house and met up with them, and it just happened that my director from Aussie Sensations, Katrina, was there as well. So we all carpooled together. So everyone was like so super friendly. So that was really good. I got to meet some people and not feel like I was just turning up on my own. So Fast and Fabulous February was just the starting point for me, and I bought the ticket. I think it's called World Tour. It was World Tour this year. I think it was like $70 when I went, and I was just like blown away at all the freebies that we got. We got like a warmer and bars and all stuff like that. And I met a whole heap of people, and they had a raffle, a lucky seat raffle or something, and I ended up winning a Lulu too, which was super exciting. So, but I ended up, I donated that to someone else, but it was pretty cool. So I met like tons of ladies there, and when I got back from Fast and Fabulous February, it kind of gave me a bit of an incentive to say, do you know what, I think I can actually work this as a part-time business rather than just being a kidnapper. And I thought, you know, I'll book a couple of parties. I'll see how it goes. You know, everyone on the team pages is so friendly and so nice. I felt like I had the support. Unfortunately, my sponsor did deactivate, so I went up to her sponsor, which was all confusing to me at the time. I didn't really understand all the whole sponsor type of thing. So I kind of was winging it on my own. And then when I moved up to her sponsor, who was Moana, Moana was living in Perth at the time. So we were kind of doing all of our contact through Facebook and Messenger and things like that. But Moana's just fantastic. I mean, she's now living in New Zealand and she's my sponsor, but to me, it doesn't really make any difference that she's not just round the corner to show me things, because if I need anything, I can just message her and, you know, get all the information that I need, as well as from the rest of the team. So, so I bumped up to Moana as my sponsor, and from there, yeah, I just kind of like booked a couple of parties. I was going to try and just see if I can screen share with you some of my like first orders and things like that, which I'm not sure if it will work, but no, maybe not. So just bear with me for a second while I see if I can get it going. All right. Might not be working, Cindy.
I can let you know when it comes up.
Yeah, I'm clicking on it now, but it's not really working. No, it's not working.
Oh, bummer. Oh, well. You can always share them later.
Yeah, I might have to do that.
It does take a couple minutes, like if you want to give it another go, like for it to come up.
Oh, I think, all right, let's see how we go. Oh, okay. I think it's working.
Yeah, it's working.
So this is the very first warmer I ever got, which is still current in our catalogue, which is the Etch Core with the butterflies. And I actually still have this one. And I don't think I've turned it off for a year and a half. It's just been going the whole time. This was my first party setup. So it was really basic. I had my kit warmer. I had a couple of bits and pieces in my kit. The other warmers were a couple that I bought. This one was actually one that I bought for my mum, and I pinched it back off her just to do my party. And I had my testers in plastic bags with the category cards in, which now I look back and think, oh my God, that looks really funny. But you know what, it worked really well. So there they are in the plastic bags. and just the basics. And I think sometimes that I feel I need to go back to that. We tend to take more and more with us, and we don't really need it. The basics kind of work. So yeah, that was my first setup. A couple of little laminated bits and pieces. This was my first order that I ever got. So yeah, taking photos of everything because I was so excited about bundling everything up and making it all pretty for everyone. Although it wasn't, now I look back, it probably wasn't that pretty because I didn't even have nice little name tags on. These are actually the printed out order sheets from the workstation. So, and this at the time was just like a little hostess gift that I did. And this is how I would just take my bits and pieces to a party in a roll-away suitcase. And yeah, so this is Fast and Fabulous February, and the wonderful Tisha, who I'd never met before but invited me to her house and said, come along with us in the car, and she dressed up and we just had, yeah, a fantastic time. Everyone was so friendly. My first basket party that I did when I got my mini testers and things. So, and then this is the first time I made up samples. I remember I was so excited. I didn't want to give them out because I just thought they looked so cute, but I did end up giving them out, which is good. Shooting star. So when I received my bracelet and my certificate, and this is a mini basket, then I did up for my best friend in her hairdressing salon, and she still puts bits and pieces in there for me now and takes orders, which is really cool. And sensational start when I got that. Then I progressed to a different way to store my kit. That didn't work either, so I've changed that as well. And this is my second party I did for a friend, where I moved on from the plastic bags with my testers and put them into these little boxes, which I actually used for over a year until just recently. So, and that was that same party setup. That I think was my second order I ever got, and I was like, oh my gosh, and I had to post it on the team page because I just never seen so many boxes of Scentsy. That was really so exciting. You all know the feeling when you get that first Scentsy order and you get super excited, and then bundling them up again. Bag party that I did. So testers that I just made into little gifts for people. And yeah, I think I took so many photos back then when I look at it, and it was because I was so super excited, from being a kidnapper to virtually doing all this sort of stuff. Kind of makes me look back and think how different it is now. So then this was when we went to Scentsy family reunion. So this is now moving on to a few months after Fast and Fabulous February. I'd met a few people from the team, and then Scentsy family reunion opportunity came up. So it was in Sydney, so I booked my flight on my own, and yeah, we got a room to share with my sponsor, Moana, who I'd never met. She was coming over from Perth, and another lovely lady who was going to room with us, who was from New Zealand. So the three of us had never met. We all jumped on a plane and we met in Sydney, and it was just fantastic. So it was another turning point for me in the business when we enrolled, turned up on the day to sign in, and we all got our names and all the achievements that we'd had. And this is just a little part of the kit that we got. Home basket parties, and these are more orders. So just see if I can go back into this. So yeah, it's just all the different steps that you go along the way. I think the events were the really big thing for me, that really made it stand out, that to push your business along a little bit further, rather from being a kidnapper to moving on to the next stages, because everyone gets so enthusiastic at things like family reunion. I think we paid about the same last year. I think it was about $230, but we got like a massive kit. We got it was actually sent to the house, which was good because we were in Sydney, so we couldn't have carried it with us. But enrolling early, we also got a diffuser and just like heaps of stuff. 2 days of training, and then on the last night, because I think I stayed a few nights, but the last night of reunion. We got to have dinner with Chuck, yay, which was like so super exciting. And it was, I remember we were just in the auditorium at the end of the day, and I think Katrina, my director, just sort of said, hey, what are you doing for dinner? And we're all like starstruck because he's just so fantastic. And he's like, oh, well, nothing, because no one ever asks me. And we were like, well, come to dinner with us. He was like, okay. So we ended up going off to have dinner with Chuck at the Revolving Restaurant. So that was really cool. So I got back from reunion and I was really pumped about my business. So everything was going really well. I'd started recruiting, not intentionally. People were asking me if they could join, and I was like, oh, okay, we'll see how this goes. And the momentum of a team actually started to build quite quickly. I did hit a hiccup around that time, which was at the end of the August. My sales were going really well. My team was starting to come about. They were introducing the shipping charges on the 1st of September. Now, I've never had an issue with customers or anyone paying the extra 10% for the shipping. Most of the time, I don't even mention it, and it's never been a problem at parties. I take their orders, and at the end, I just casually kind of go, oh, hey, it's 10% shipping on that. 9 times out of 10, people, are more than happy to pay that. My issue came about when the shipping came into place, and I had a lot of orders going through, but my orders started taking up to 3 weeks to come. And that was a little bit difficult for me because I had a really good customer base and I didn't want to let people down. I was kind of like, oh, there's a 10% shipping. They were like, that's fine, but if I'm waiting for 3 weeks and on a $200 order, I'm paying $20 to wait 3 weeks for something. So that was a real problem for me within my business because it kind of reflected back on me as a consultant. So I went backwards and forwards. I did actually, in the end, I contacted Chuck directly, and he looked into the issue, and it was a major problem with coming from Sydney to my courier, being held up there and coming back down to me. So I did have a few weeks where I think in total it was quite a few orders that took a while, but we did get to the end of the issue in the end. And I think I learned from that if you've got a problem, don't hold back. Like, let them know and they'll try and sort it out. And if you have to go like higher and higher to get to the bottom of that issue, just do it, because in essence, we own our own business. But, to a certain extent, Scentsy is kind of still working for us to make sure that we can get everything out to people in the end. So that was one of the issues that I had. Another thing that I wanted to bring up was I used to be like a really stand back sort of person. I was one of those people that I hate pushy salespeople, and I didn't want to be pushy myself. So I think that sometimes because I didn't want to be pushy, I just wouldn't ask. And I remember the first event that I ever did, which I did with Cindy. And we did a ladies expo at Robina, and I turned up, and I remember I was like really enthusiastic and I was looking forward to it. And I turned up and I thought, well, as people approach the table, we'll just chat. And it was a real sort of turning point again for me, because I thought, oh, Cindy seems really quiet, and she's come up behind me and just like in my ear gone, ask them if they want to book a party. And I'm like, I can't just ask them that. And she's like, just do it. So I did, and I think so I sort of started with this, you know, encouragement from Cindy going, oh, would you like to book a party? And I had these like pretty little booking bags made up, and just waiting for them to like look at me like an idiot and go, no. And she goes, oh, sure. And I was so shocked. I went, really? Oh, and I grabbed my diary out and let's book a date. And so I put a date in and gave her a booking bag, and I'm like, Cindy, yes, oh my gosh. Anyway, in that hour, I booked 3 parties, and no one was more shocked than me. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I can't believe I booked 3 parties. I wasn't even going to ask one person. So it was really funny. Now I just ask everyone all the time. So if you're like me, and I was at the start, just, you know, you see everyone going, just ask. There's no problem with a no. And I used to go, oh, that's silly. But yeah, 3 parties booked in 1 hour. That was pretty cool. So got sidetracked there. Where was I up to? So after Scentsy family reunion, and I got into it, and I was then working on the next incentive. So it was the Launch to Leadership, which went for 3 months, and it was a 3-month challenge for recruiting, and the prize for that was a Royal Caribbean cruise to Fort Lauderdale for Launch to Leadership. So I ended up earning that, which was really cool. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend. It was the 1st or 2nd week of January, and it just conflicted with my holiday plans over Christmas and family and things I'd already booked. But we did get a product credit payout for some of that anyway, but it was just really good to have earned that. Then February this year came around quite quickly, and we had World Tour. So World Tour this year was a lot bigger than it was last year. Last year it was at the Hilton, the Fast and Fabulous February. As I said, I was just new, and it was quite a small room and just all on chairs, whereas this year it was like an auditorium. So it was a little bit different, and it was fantastic to have the opportunity to take some of my own team there to enjoy it. And we did the Spread Your Wings incentive, so I earned that as well. Haven't taken it out of the box. It does look really pretty, but I might just leave it in the box. So after the February World Tour, we then started on the new catalogue. So it's yeah, it's just been, seems, when I put it all down on paper, it seems to have moved so quickly. I think that the thing that I like is that I look forward to all the next incentives. We just came back from Singapore, so that was a 6-month incentive. I think we'll probably, I'm not sure if we get that in August or September. Yeah, one of those, August, yeah. So I had the best time in Singapore. It was just fantastic. And I just, one of my big things is that I really want to take a lot of my team with me next year. And because part of the incentives is it's really cool if you can take people with you and share the experience. So yeah, if you're kind of like looking, going, oh, I can't do it, believe me, you can. When it got, I think it came to about November, and I was watching the points tracker, and I thought, oh, I don't think I'm going to make this. And I ended up making it by 7 or 8 PRV. So it was just the tiniest little bit. But I did learn from that. Don't leave it till the end. Start working on it at the start, because there's nothing worse than like that last few days. Like I was double checking my PRV and thinking, if I miss this by 7 PRV, like, you know, $10 or $11, I will just be kicking myself. Anyway, I did end up getting it. So yeah, and it was, I'm just gonna see if I can bring some of the photos up from that. Oh yeah. So it was just, oh, this is Launch to Leadership. So, oh, here we go, Singapore. So it was just fantastic. Like, you know, we were all excited about just getting our little packs that arrived in the mail. The first night we were there, we had a reception dinner, which was like all inclusive, and the view was just magnificent. We were given, you know, gifts each day, random room drop-offs, which was just so exciting. You were looking forward to going out and coming back to that. Given passes to all the different events, transport passes, so we had no idea that that was happening when we turned up. They just said, yeah, all your transport, use this card and it's paid for. It was just a fantastic experience and something that I'd never want to miss out on again. So I'll definitely be working towards it and hopefully earning it with a lot of, you know, my team, so we can share the whole experience together. And yeah, I think that's about it. We're now working on the power up, and I've already got level 1, so I'm super happy about that. And just working with my team to try and get them to get it as well, because encouraging other people and sharing is what it's all about. So basically that's my journey. It seems to, like, yeah, have been quite a lot when I put it down, from a kidnapper to really working it nearly full time now. I'm hoping to be doing it full time. I'm doing Love Leadership University, which I'm really enjoying, and it's helping me to grow and learn. I've set my goals for this year, which are totally different to like this time last year. I was kind of like, if I can book 2 parties, I'll be happy. My goals this year are to, by the end of the year, recruit, support my team, become a director. I'm got up on my fridge that I want to try and achieve annual mentor and annual sales. I may not get them, but hey, if you don't put the goal out there, you're never going to get it. So that's part of my journey that's on my fridge. And yeah, earn the incentive trip for myself, hopefully someone else to come with me, and my team to join along. So that's about it. Thanks, Cindy, for having me share my story and step out of my comfort zone yet again.
Well, thank you. I thank you so much for doing it too, and accepting the challenge. I think it's amazing to see where you started. You realized you were a kidnapper, so that was something that I learned. And then seeing the growth that you've kind of overcome and how you've enjoyed everything. And I think it's great. That's always been one of my goals, is when I earned my first incentive, was I just want as many people to just be able to come and experience that experience, because it's pretty amazing, just like you share with your images and stuff. So I did any questions. I don't think they've come up. I'll quickly check to see if anyone's got any questions for you. Really good. So thank you again, because it is a big thing sharing your story, because it's your own story and it's personal. So I really appreciate you coming on and sharing it with everyone. And hopefully people can relate to some things. I mean, you shared some things that you had to overcome as well, and we all overcome things, but the main thing is you did overcome it. And now I had to laugh when you said that, I remember that experience so well when we were at the Women's Expo, and you kind of looked at me like, are you seriously going to make me ask this person for a party booking? And I'm like, what have you got to lose? You're never going to see this person again anyway. Well, you did, because you booked a party. But you do events now, don't you?
Yeah, I do. And I ask everyone, like everyone.
Well, you do. That's my biggest thing now. It's like, I just put in my mind, you know what? I'm never going to see this person ever again. So if they like say no or give me a look, I'm just like, oh, okay, no big deal. Like I made a fool of myself for maybe like 10 seconds. So, but if they say yes, I don't have to sit there and think, oh, what if I asked them and what if they said yes and they seemed really interested, but now I just think, oh, well, I asked and they said no, or I asked and they said yes. So I had to laugh at that. But
yeah. It's funny how you change like that, because I just remember at the time just thinking, oh my God, like, why would you ask that? And then I remember at the end of the day, I couldn't wipe the smile off my face. I was like, I got 3 party bookings. It was just amazing. Yeah.
I remember it just happening for you, like bang, bang, bang. And I'm just like, well, look at her go. Because once you get one and someone actually says yes to you, just builds your confidence up. And you're like, I can ask again. What about if I get another one? So I love it. You know, that was a good little turning point for you. And I think it is really important. Like, I was quiet too. And it took me a long time to get to the point of asking people at events. At first, I never asked. And I always walked away from my events thinking, well, I got no parties. That kind of sucked. Like, I got some sales, but no parties. But it took me a long time to kind of learn that lesson. So it was good you learned it on the first one.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Hayley. I really appreciate it. And congratulations on earning level 1. That's pretty cool.
Level 2 and 3 next. I want that mini projector.
You've got that. Yeah, you've totally got it. Or who knows, you might take the trip.
Maybe, but I really want the mini projector. I don't even know what it is. I just want it.
Yeah. I looked at that too. I'm like, is that like a proper projector? You might be able to take it to parties or something. I don't know what it is, but I'm not really tech. I only know like what a tablet is. So
yeah.
We're excited to watch you achieve all of your goals this year.
Thank you. And level 3 is a bigger tablet than the other tablets, so that's the one that we want.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. And it's achievable.
Definitely.
Really achievable. You just shown like you went to Singapore for, what was it, 10 days or something? Or
yeah,
like,
9 days. Yeah, I extended
9 days.
the
You were in Singapore for 9 days where you did absolutely no work and you came back and you earned level 1. So no excuses.
Yeah.
For the rest of us, I mean, no excuses for the rest of us. You just showed us that it can totally be done, even with taking time off. So that's awesome. Again, Hayley.
Okay, thanks for having me. Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.